But the people you get on are really funny, and I'm not very funny.
When we get in the flow of it, we'll need some sort of jingle.
Salisbury Business Podcast. Salisbury Business Podcast.
Why, just off the cuff?
Yeah.
Did you just think of that?
What is that though? Why
I'm kidding. It's shit.
That's the only reason I did it. Just put my face on the signs because it's different, and people, I suppose, positively and negatively recognise things that are different, don't they? So
your mug.
Yeah, my mug.
That's different.
Yeah, my mug, and I've got my haircut. My hair's awful at the moment, so like I was literally getting stressed. So I was going like this all day, and then I was going to go and have a shower and just freshen up and think.
Put your hat back on.
So we have a hat on today.
Could you pull that mic a little bit closer to you? There you go. That's perfect. That's good.
And don't tap this because
that's the explosion button.
That goes red. So I'll keep an eye on it, but just if you want to grab this at any time, just grab the bottom, not this.
Yeah.
Because if that goes red, that's not recording.
Oh, okay.
And if it doesn't, then
I think we're good.
we're good.
Yeah.
Well, you do the start.
We already started.
Did we? Oh yeah.
Already started.
You've got a legless ornament, haven't you?
Yeah. So that's the first thing that you've broken. Let's see how we go.
It's my first invoice for today.
Yeah, we're supposed to be making people money, and you're the first person we're taking that. Yeah, no, that was quite funny, wasn't it?
So I'll start it with saying what I said a minute ago off camera, which is I've done loads of research for this one because I've been really excited to have a singer on.
Yeah, he has been banging on about you for like maybe a month. He's like, okay, because didn't we have it in for a couple of weeks ago and then it just didn't quite, or did I not confirm or something?
It's probably your fault.
Yeah,
probably.
He has been excited for this one.
Yeah. And that is purely because that is my dream to do. Like, I would love to be a singer. That's like my dream thing to do. The problem is that I can't sing.
That's the most ridiculous. I knew you were going to say that.
So I cannot sing at all. And so my voice is so bad that like the kids will just tell me to shut up and like it's awful, really bad.
What, your kids or just kids in general?
Kids in general, yeah. The neighbours and things like that. I love to sing, and I always watched like the programmes, Britain's Got Talent and all that kind of stuff, and musicals and things like that. And it was just like I would love to do all of that, but
it's quite an emotive thing, isn't it? Singing. I'm going deep early here, but like
No, take the reins.
I feel as though like because I'm sport, right? And sport is my thing. And one of my friends said to me a couple of weeks ago, if you could lose sport or music, what would you have to? And I was like, it would have to be music. But then since I've said that, I don't think the answer would change because I watch sport, I play sport, like it is just everything outside of work for me, really. But it does, like, I've been noticing like the way that music subtly, like on even just the radio, like even just like, you know, while I'm making my coffee in the morning, the radio's on. Yeah. I don't know, like you get a feeling, you get an emotion from music and hearing people sing and like, I don't know, there's a connection with it, isn't it, that sport does offer in some ways, but I don't know, that's do you know where I'm going? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a very nice quote by the guy, have you heard of Les Miserables, the musical?
Yeah.
Les Mis. So the guy that wrote that, I'm sure it's him that said it, he said music is, it fills the gap between that can't be spoken, but that shouldn't remain silence. And then that's music. So it's the gap between, which is quite nice, which I think is what you're saying.
That's a great
That's
point.
going on here. What was it? That
He didn't say it with all my ums and ahs or something like that, but yeah.
I think, I was thinking that day, we should, because we've had some people drop some serious quotes. That's the best one so far. I'm thinking, do we put a vote out at the end?
What's
the first 10
what's
episodes,
the best quote?
and then we have to get
You can do
yeah.
You've got a room there.
Lessons, tattoo.
That's that's very true.
That's a good one. So why didn't you go into singing? What?
Because I can't sing. That was purely it. Is that I know I can't sing, and so I used to think I could sing until someone then said you can't sing. Which I'm glad they did.
Was that? Who was that?
That would have been one of those really bad ones. Well, Kat. Kat and the kids just said you definitely can't sing. I can sing.
Do you feel like learning to sing is something that people naturally have, or do you feel like a lot of students you have that they come to you and like Dan, they can't sing, and you take them on a journey, or like do you think it's a gift, or both?
So in some ways, it's like being an athlete with sport because you're just using your muscles. And I had a laryngoscopy this morning, like literally today, which is where they put a camera down and look at your vocal folds. It was really interesting. It was
You
the
had
first
that
time today, this morning.
Wow.
And like I've been singing. My professional career has been 20 years and I've never seen my vocal folds in action, and I got really emotional because it was the first time I'd ever seen them. But they're just muscles. So you're training your body, you're training your muscles to do something. And I think that some people are just sometimes further along that path, maybe naturally, like they're shaping things right, or they're breathing in a way that's just helping the voice and the tone to do these things that other people go, wow. And it's just muscles. And then other people have to learn how to do that. And so they're further back on the path. And they might not get to Mariah Carey or whoever, but they'll get further along. Wow. They'll be able to train a little bit. So it's a bit like sport.
Is that are some people born at a young age with just developed muscles here to do it, or is that like because obviously you see on X Factor, don't you, where like a 9-year-old comes out, and you're like, how are you that good? But
yeah, it's really annoying.
I suppose it's like, and so is that just good in the scheme of the age? And actually, you're sat there thinking, "Hey, that's cute." They all think she's really good. Actually, you're kind of critiquing that there's like how can you be that good at a young age?
It's not that they're getting this crazy anatomy that other people aren't born with. It's not that at all. They're just using it in a way. So like you can shape stuff. You could go or ah.
Oh my god! This is what we were. We'll have to do something. And
you're shaping it in a different way, so they're just naturally.
I can't wait to clip that bit because literally both of us went when you did that.
But so as part of this, you're going to have to get us to do stuff like that because we've said that we're going to go dancing from Hattie's last week.
Hattie's.
But yeah, we need to do something like that near the
end.
I
would like to do it anyway because I want to be able to. What I want to do is secretly learn to sing, and then in a year just blurt out like song at home.
I know what's a good idea. Say that on a podcast for everyone.
Nobody watches this.
This is great.
That's not what you've been saying for the last 6 weeks.
Okay, so if we hold you to this in a year's time, what would be your go-to karaoke song that you'd be like, I'm going to nail this song and it's going to be amazing? And you've got a year. What would it be?
Oh my god, that's a great question.
We got time.
It'll be
I'm going to have
Elvis,
some of my tonic.
It'll be Elvis Presley, I think.
Mine's Goo Goo Dolls, Iris. Like it's just because that I do you know that song? Forgive up forever to touch you.
Oh yeah, okay.
I know most of it, but when you got to listen to it to hear it.
Yeah.
But that was there's a guy that I used to know about 15 years ago when I was probably like late teens-ish. And I remember we were having a barbecue. There was about 15 people there, and he just got a guitar and just started playing it and sung that. And I've never seen so many, because at that age, everyone takes the mick out of each other. Like nothing's cool. Anytime you can take the mick out of your friends at 19, you do it.
Yeah.
And everyone was just there like,
yeah.
And it was just it was the first time I'd ever heard anyone. I'd never heard music in that close setting before. It'd always been like a few gigs and stuff like that. That song's always stuck with me. That I'd love to have been able to sing that because it's got a bit of everything, hasn't it?
It's a great song.
I think that's where I've got this like false thought that I can sing, because this is awful. When I was, I think, how old are you in year 2?
7, 8.
7 or 8. Oh, it's a lot older than I thought.
Yeah.
So it was, for whatever reason, I have no idea, but I was in a band. But only
at 6 or 7?
But only for lunchtime. One lunchtime.
What was the band?
I can't remember what it was called.
I had a boyfriend for one lunchtime in primary school as well.
Exactly. Yeah. But we at playtime, as it was then, we stood up on like these little wooden logs that were like different levels, like a boy band. And there was I think it was like 4 or 5 of us. And I can't remember who any of them are. If any of them watched this, comment.
That was me, Dan.
Remember it. And we sang God's Not Dead. It must have been like an assembly.
Was that an original?
God's Not Dead? Have you just made that up?
God's Not Dead, He's Still Alive. Is that not a thing?
Is that a song?
I feel
know
it in
what
my
song that-
fingers.
At least
I
I
feel it
gave
in my
something
toes.
that's mildly recognisable.
Oh, maybe we did make it up.
That's deep.
That's brilliant.
They've just gone into the break room and gone, God's not dead. God's not dead. Right, okay, guys, let's go and do that in front of the whole class.
We planned it a little bit, and then we did it on the at playtime, and
This is the most
on these
ridiculous-
honestly, one of these wooden logs, and we got a crowd of people around us. I say a crowd. It was
You just
probably
made
about
up-
5 people, but
God's
it felt like,
not dead.
It
It's
felt
just-
like 50 people were there, and we were all singing, and that was like, I was like, that was really cool. And then ever
But
since
you
then, I was
peaked
like,
then.
okay.
You peaked.
That was the peak.
You
yeah,
peaked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the most common answer to that question? So like when you say to people, is there a
Karaoke song.
karaoke? You know, you asked about what your karaoke song.
I never
is.
really asked it before.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
A natural podcaster. Yeah, I love that.
Another potential host.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think mine would probably be Elvis Presley, Blue Suede Shoes, or actually no, Frank Sinatra could be.
Good job, a bit of My Way.
My way.
Yeah, I like My Way, or Fly Me to the Moon, or something like that.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because clearly we're talking about obviously slightly different eras with those, but that the karaoke era / the songs that I think still hit so hard today are like classic songs, aren't they? I just feel like music's a bit watered down these days, isn't
I
it?
have a theory on that though, because there was less out, right? And that's why films are still big from that era, because there was less available. So if you've got Spotify now where everyone can release a song, you've got so much available that everyone goes into their little niche now, what they
that's a
like.
great
Whereas
shout.
back then, you only had a certain amount being released. So that's why they stay.
Yeah, that's a great shout, isn't it?
So how did you find out you could sing, or like when did you? Was it like from a really young age, like when you were a kid?
I think we got a head start because our parents were bluegrass country musicians. So
Oh, whoa.
they were
that's cool.
touring, like me, I have a sister. We were, when you were on the logs doing God's Not Dead, we were also vibing. And at the
Just a real music, not some made up playground nonsense.
we were singing the same thing, man.
Don't
We
crush my dreams.
and yeah, we were not thinking it was very cool at the time, but now I look back on it and think, wow, that was a really cool childhood, because we were going to like bluegrass festivals and learning to sing and just being around it, and we couldn't help but sing. And then my dad, we were on road trips, and he would teach us to do harmonies, sitting in the back and
That's so
doing all
cool.
That
gospel
is really
songs.
cool, because
and
bluegrass is quite like a unique way of
niche.
singing, isn't it? Yeah, and it's not in the UK at all, really, is it?
It's a
Is it like
small scene, but there
Yeah.
is a scene. And then I think then a few years ago, Mumford and Sons made it all quite popular with the
Yeah, yeah, of
banjos and
course,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But yeah, bluegrass is like, it's country, but it's from the Appalachian Mountains in America. So it's got some gospel in there. So the close harmony and the gospel, and then it's all unplugged. So it's all like 5 people around one microphone just doing amazing harmonies.
And it's
So-
really fast as well.
Yeah,
isn't
really
it?
fast,
It's
really virtuoso.
fast-paced.
Yeah.
That feels like you obviously Appalachian Mountains. Did you say?
Yeah.
That feels like where music would have originated from, right? Like,
Yeah.
like you think music didn't originate from auto tune in a studio, did it? It was like, that's so cool. Like just authenticity and like
Yeah.
that's wicked.
God, imagine the first person that sang.
It's like I've always said. Imagine the first person that ever got pins and needles. What would you have thought?
What do you mean?
Well, like, you know, the pins and needles is a really weird feeling, isn't it? It feels like your legs are aching.
Well,
and
imagine
they
the
go-
first human would have had pins and
Well,
needles at some
absolutely.
point.
So imagine what they thought. Imagine the first person who like tried to sing and realized
Yeah.
they could like. Do you know what I mean?
It's not as good as the first person that invented toast and was like, bread is already cooked, and they're like, let's do it again.
Oh yeah.
Made the best thing ever in the
Yeah,
world.
let's cook it a bit more.
Do it again.
Okay, yeah. We need to do a poll. What would be the most mental thing that someone first did, and what would they have thought? Because whenever I get pins and needles, I always think to myself, it feels like I'd be having like a heart attack, or like because your whole body,
Or your legs are gonna fall
Yeah,
off.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
do you know what I
you
mean?
wouldn't
You get-
know that it was nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think to just shake my
Yeah.
leg out and walk around the room a few times. Hopping around. I'd be like, oh dear, I'm dying.
And then suddenly it just goes away.
suddenly it just goes away. Yeah. No, that's crazy. So have you always lived in England, or have you travelled around quite a lot in your young age?
No, when I got to 18, I went to a few universities and I looked around universities. I knew that music and singing, like I loved it, and performing. And I went to universities and I kind of figured, and I thought, I don't really want to go somewhere and then be in debt and still have to audition the same as everybody else. I was like, if I want to be a lawyer or a doctor or some profession, I'm going to have to go to university. It's the only route. But for the creative route, I was like, I think there's other ways of doing this. So I just went to auditions, and I worked on cruise ships when I was from about 18, travelled around. That was amazing. And then got into the band in my early 20s. Then recently we lived in Luxembourg for a few years as well. So that was really nice. But I miss the UK. I really like it here.
And did you grow up around Salisbury? Or?
No, so we wanted to get a project house, and we found one in Salisbury.
Nice.
So we're by the station, and I've just been cooped up. We've been trying to do the bathroom, but it's been a project. So that's our first ever project house. So
That's cool.
yeah,
Obviously, my cat senses are like, where's that? So I've seen it. Yeah.
But so it's pretty random actually coming to Salisbury. It was just around Christmas time. And we've absolutely fallen in love with it. So we didn't know if we were going to stay a very long time, but now that we're here, we're like, we don't want to go anywhere else. We love it. So I haven't really plugged in as much as I could do because we've been getting the house and getting it livable. But I'm really excited because it feels Salisbury feels
That's
quite
great
creative.
Because obviously I'm telling people all the time.
Yeah.
I've got like 10 viewings tomorrow, and like 7 of them aren't local. So it's actually really cool that these
Just
are
send
people.
them that clip.
Well, yeah.
It's great.
What a great. Actually, can you pick that out to me this evening?
It is.
Because that's really cool to hear. Because obviously, everyone that's been on so far is like Salisbury lifers, aren't they? Prue, Luke, Hattie, Paddy, definitely. They've all just.
Paddy came across.
Yeah. Down to. So it's actually really cool to hear someone that's come in that is falling in love with the city, because, again, I think when we were 18 and stuff, you think, it's quiet, don't do lot. We kind of start jipping it off.
When you live
there,
there, it's the same with anywhere, really.
It is.
When you live there,
you don't appreciate it as much.
It is.
Yeah.
But I've still got the whole, I see all the buses going to the cathedral and all the tourists, and I'm like, I get to live here. So I'm still on that, high buzzy, but yeah, we love it.
Have you done Stonehenge yet?
No.
Yeah, don't. It's the most overrated thing. It's the one thing which everyone's like, no, we got Stonehenge. I'm like, I've been so drunk outside so many clubs before, and the only thing where's Salisbury? Where Stonehenge is? And they're like, oh yeah, we've always wanted to visit. I'm like, don't. It's.
I think it's quite cool.
No, it's not.
Do you know, I've never been, but I think it's quite cool from the road.
It's not.
You can still see it.
That's as close as you need to be to see all you need
then
to
I've
see.
done it.
That is Stonehenge. You don't need to get any closer. I'm going to get some stick for that.
Yeah, I feel like you are, because
that
it's
is my,
very spiritual as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Not
But
yet,
there
not
must
for
be
me.
some good energy coming from Stonehenge, because it is a great place here. As a newbie, I'm feeling it. It is. We're going to try and tick off all the pubs first. I think that's the
nice.
Got
nice.
to tick them
That's
off, and then
the
we'll
bad
do
bit of
Stonehenge.
Salisbury is the pubs, yeah.
Well, it is, yeah. And Nando's, according to Luke.
And you.
Yeah.
And you.
That's true. No,
Local celebrity.
Yes, I know, but I have one in the quiet at my home. Luke, when we asked him what his favourite local business was, he was like, well, I do love a Nando's. We were like,
not
local independent business.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So you went to uni. Whereabouts did you go to uni? Oh, no, sorry, you didn't go to uni.
No.
You didn't go to uni.
No.
And you joined a band?
Then I was working on the cruises, and I was singing covers all the time and cover songs, and it was okay. And I was like, this is cool. But I was like, there's not my soul. There's something missing. And so I moved back to the UK with my sister, and we ended up doing originals, and we did 2 albums, and that fed something in my soul to do original music. So it was really nice.
What, just wrote all your own stuff?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And how long were you in the band for?
I'd say about 8 years.
8 years. Okay.
No.
So this is the bit that
Like really old.
that gets me, is that what made you go from being a singer to then wanting to coach people to sing? Because in my eyes, I just want to stay a singer. If I was a singer.
Doing your Elvis.
Yeah.
Because you do the Singers Club, so
Yes.
that's basically just coaching other people on how to sing, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how come you went from being,
I'm guessing you still do
being
sing,
the
though,
singer
right? But
to
obviously
being
just
the
not
coach?
on such a regular big time level, and you focus a lot of your energy on.
I think it's circumstances. So the reason the band, because we moved to Luxembourg, so the band, it was too difficult. I was in another country, trying to organise gigs and stuff. It was just it was too much. And then the coaching, the band was cooling off. The coaching was doing that. But there's a few factors to it. I've always quite enjoyed bits. So my mum told me a story that apparently when I was 4, I was sat in the garden with this folder and I wanted clients, and I used to get her to role play and come and be clients and then the next client with my little folder. I was like 4. And I've wanted to run a business. I wanted to be in charge of my own destiny a bit. And part of me, I created a program for people to learn to sing. And I thought, this is really special and no one else is doing anything quite like how I was doing it. Whereas when I listen to Spotify, there's other amazing bands and they're all releasing amazing music. And I loved our music, don't get me wrong, but I didn't feel like it was like groundbreaking because there's so many good bands out there and it's hard.
It's
and
a hard,
it's really
it's a hard
hard
market, isn't it?
Whereas suddenly when I was coaching, something happened and I created a program that I felt like this is a bit different. So that was it for me. And I just knew that
I think it's even more difficult now because you've got things that you'd have to be on top of if you want to sort of go viral or do that because of all the social media stuff. Yeah. So even though if you're uploading songs on Spotify, unless you're also uploading, I guess, more than once a day on things like TikTok and whatever.
Yeah. It's almost like running it like a business. It's like running your own career like a business.
So it's like easy to go viral through TikTok, but only for a very, very select few.
What was I listening to the other day? Because I got a bit bored with TalkSport recently, so I've popped back Radio 1 on, and it was either evening or morning whenever they have the Radio 1 introducing, BBC introducing.
We were on that.
Were you?
Yeah.
And cool. And she said that she was talking about like that their Ibiza sets start in about 5 weeks' time or 4 weeks' time or something, and so they're basically selecting 2 young DJs and artists to go out to play with them to try and kickstart their career. And she said they get about $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So she has to sit there every month, or her and the producers and everybody, $1,000 a month. So you're thinking like they're taking in 12,000 new, quick maths. They're taking 2,000 a year of new, like that's a needle in a haystack, right?
Exactly,
as you said,
exactly.
Imagine that, like back in the 70s, 80s, just that accessibility wasn't there. It was, I'm guessing, tell me if I'm wrong, but music labels and if you weren't with Sony and then you're done.
Yes.
So the saturation is crazy, isn't it?
And it's a double-edged sword because we want that. You want to be able to just upload your music and have all that independence, but because you can, everybody can. Yeah. So it's always going to be a double-edged sword.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do, because you do wedding singing as well.
I've done weddings.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I've done weddings.
Is that kind of more the stuff where you'll go out and do the singing for yourself? Will be events now? Like, is that sporadic?
Yeah.
In amongst you coaching, or is just coaching is almost that just a full time?
Like, so a couple of years ago, I went, have you heard of Action Coach, like a business? They do helping businesses, kind of that kind of thing. So business learning and stuff like that, Action Coach. And I did that. And they were like, if you're starting a business, you've got to be helping people. Yeah. You don't really do it for yourself. Like, you're successful if you're helping somebody do something. And the music and singing was sort of for me, but I didn't know how I was helping people. I don't know. Whereas with the coaching, I'm like, I'm helping someone. I'm helping them with their confidence, and so it grows. It just really grows because I'm delivering a service.
Absolutely. What do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy doing the singer stuff or doing the coaching stuff? That's a hard question.
It is hard at the moment. Coaching.
Yeah.
To be honest, I really enjoy coaching.
I do think there's a weird, like, I think British people do, because again, I see it in my job where like people don't want to mess other people around. It's almost like they're putting other people first. Like that, okay, I'm thinking, no, put yourself first. It's my job you're almost getting more happiness out of seeing someone else start and get to a goal that they've set with you, rather than almost just going out and doing something yourself.
Yeah.
Because part of you's probably like, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
But how cool would it be to see somebody who can't do it start and then go along a journey for 6 to 12 months, and then at the end of it, they're doing something that they wanted to do, like a gig or.
That's cool.
So I can imagine it's like the satisfaction of seeing other people succeed because of that must be quite satisfying.
I never really thought about it until you said that, but you're absolutely right. It's really
Come on.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
that's very rewarding. Yeah.
What's the best experience you've ever had in your career? Is there a peak moment where you're like?
Well, the one that's always fun to talk about would be we did X Factor.
So, X Factor.
Right, there we go. Because then whenever you said, people know about it.
See, I did know that, which is because I did some research last night and I had to refresh my memory just a minute ago. but because obviously you've got that like singing profile, I think, when you go, and it said has appeared on X Factor.
I did loads of research and I didn't see that at all.
It was well, so we did the one that what's it? James Arthur?
Yes.
James Arthur,
Impossible.
No,
He did that one, and Ella Henderson as well. Oh, and Rylan, who now presents.
Yeah.
That year, it was 2012.
So
Was
did
it?
you,
It's a good one.
So were you on TV or was it like the audition
No,
bit?
we made it to the boot camp part of it. So we did boot camp, and then we walked out. We left.
Oh, did you?
The producers were trying to get me and my sister to argue for the cameras, and they were like, "We want to stage this fight, and then we're going to film you fighting." And we were like, "Nah, man, we're out."
I knew they would do stuff like that.
It's so
they do,
lame,
bastards.
isn't it? we didn't. That's so annoying. That actually annoys me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why? It's almost like this toxicity of TV is that we want to see people hate each other.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. 'cause
No,
it is
like
fun.
absolutely. Well, yeah, but
You know,
like,
you remember that episode of X Factor where like the sister punches the other sister in the face? You've seen that.
well, that's
right?
obviously not real now, is it?
Wow, maybe they
I'm
made them.
evidently-
Maybe they took it too far.
Yeah. Wait, that wasn't you, was it?
No.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember
That's
they're like they're sisters or best friends or something like that, and then one of them gets really angry at the other, and then lumps the other one in the face. Wow! And that's my favourite episode.
That was like prime
Yeah.
X Factor as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
X
Yeah.
Factor from 2007 to 2008. Because when was One Direction? Was that was around 2011, wasn't it? 2012.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I think
Bit
you
before.
had. Hey, here's a little quiz. X Factor winners in a row.
I have no idea.
But I want to say from like, was it Matt Cardle who like did that duet with Rihanna,
Oh yeah.
which I
Really?
think was 2009, where they were like staring each other in the eye, and I was like, "Go on, lad." And I reckon through to like 2015, that seemed to be the peak of. And then after that, I think
I didn't realise you were that much of an X
Well,
Factor
I used to watch. Yeah, that was like your Saturday night 7:30, wasn't it?
I feel like the more I'm hearing you talk, I think you'd be great on a pub quiz team.
Yeah,
I think you'd be really,
I-
really good. You're a dark horse, I think.
I do love random information.
Yeah.
yeah, I do love random
With
information.
dates and
Yeah, it did. No, it was just Saturday night, wasn't it? You know, and then I think when I must have been 22 odd when I stopped watching it. So yeah, like from sort of 12, 13, probably 2007ish to, do you know what I mean? I think that was.
Yeah, it's like getting a bit boring, samey, wouldn't it?
yeah.
I think they've done
It's
it
like
now,
even
haven't
Britain's
they?
Got Talent was just incredible. We were talking about diversity
Yeah.
with
yeah.
Hattie,
Yeah.
and we were both like, oh my god, yeah, diversity was incredible. And now if I walked in and saw someone doing exactly the same thing, I'd just be a bit like,
Oh, it's diversity. they're copying.
So I think, as I said, the challenge for anything, isn't it, is just like trying to find stuff new. But
Yeah.
I think BGT's gone down the same way, hasn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's quite cool.
So it was a circus. It was an absolute circus, but it was kind of funny. I think it's all a game. The whole industry seems like a game. You got to play it one way or another. You just have to play the game. And
Do you think that eats a lot of people up? Like, because some people aren't just that way. You know, they're just not. They don't have that cunning in them. They don't have that
do you know who was
streetwise.
the best one at playing the game from the outset before he was famous? Rylan.
Was it?
Rylan walked in. He walked in these silver moon boots. I remember it. Silver moon boots, a silver thing. And he was like, "Darlings, I've arrived." And the producers and everyone in this warehouse thing, and everyone was like really nervous.
See, I'd
And
just
then
be like-
Rylan, he just knew what he was doing.
I'd just be like, "What's a knob?" But like, but
I was like, what a knob.
but I guess
he played the game. Though.
That's it, isn't
he
it?
Knew
That's
it.
it.
He
Doing,
knew
didn't
it.
he?
Yeah.
And
it was
to
great
think
to
that
watch.
like everybody hated him on the X Factor, didn't they? Because
Yeah, he's not had a thriving
like
singing career.
No, definitely not. But as soon as he left that, now everybody loves him. Now, like I
He's
think
done well.
he's just done so many like hosting things and all of that, and so he's made it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Just from being not that good at singing on X Factor.
Who else? I suppose Ollie Murs. Done pretty
Yeah,
well.
Ollie Maz is cool.
Presenting.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah, like there's just, and there's been, I mean, obviously One Direction were massive, weren't they?
So did you and your sister
But
have
X-
that conversation?
What conversation?
Should we
No, I think
argue,
I've always
or-
been the bossy organised one. She writes all the lyrics, like all the songs come from her. She's amazing, but I'm the organised bossy one. So if I'm like, we're going now, we're leaving. She's like,
That's quite a big call though, right? Like to leave what could have been a life-changing opportunity, or did
yeah,
you?
but what I didn't know was that I'd be coming on this podcast one day.
Right.
That's true, actually.
That is
yeah,
a
You know?
mental
we were
statement.
talking about
Talking about platforms,
Yeah.
X Factor. Psh.
10, what was that?
cares?
2 million, 3 million people on a Saturday night.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing on us.
I'm going to meet Adam
Yeah.
and Dan. Adam and Dan.
And Dan. Where's that come from?
You,
Brilliant.
because you said he's famous.
Yeah, that's true. You are famous.
No, I'm not. Don't my head won't fail. No, that's Yeah, well, Simon Cowell can come up and if he wants to and compete with, you've been called out.
Yeah,
Here's
well,
your
I was thinking
opportunity
maybe
to
we could
respond.
get Ye on.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Kanye.
yeah, because that would go
Oh,
well, wouldn't it?
I can't
Imagine getting him right.
call him
We're
Kanye.
above the hair extension game.
Yeah, see,
Minster
saying-
Street.
Because he's gone full rogue now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Full rogue.
Yeah. Maybe he's playing the game.
Yeah, but
No.
what? I think
He's
playing
read the
He's
right
game that
Ryland.
nobody else knows what the
read-
rules are.
With the Ryland School of Marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Did you see his song yesterday that he released?
No.
what?
Go
yeah,
on.
What kind of?
Yeah.
No.
It's called Heil Hitler. That is what his song is called.
Jesus Christ.
And in it is stuff I'm not going to say.
That is
Because it is awful.
Is
He
it?
has gone full on mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Insane. And
It's
if you
just in a
see
tough
this
industry,
clip,
though, isn't
please
it?
don't hurt me.
He's just still trying to stay, like, I guess, in the limelight somehow.
I dated Kim
right?
Kardashian.
I feel like what he's trying to do is he's just rebelling because everybody's telling him he can't do any of this stuff. So now he's just rebelling and being like, I'm going to do it anyway.
Do you have any insights into that kind of side of the industry? Because again, like it seemed quite. I mean, obviously the whole Liam Payne stuff last year, you can tell just never ever fully got on board with the whole fame and things like that. Like, I assume you know people or you've got insights onto like just how pressure that is. Like I mean, maybe not on One Direction level, but it's quite a toxic industry, isn't it?
I think that in the last couple of years, there's a lot more to do with wellness and looking after yourself, and that's obviously far more. It's discussed more now than it was in, say, like the 90s and stuff. So people are. But what hasn't really changed is that money is still the most powerful thing, right? And people become a product. So you're a product, and the more money you're making, so it was in the papers yesterday. He left 24 million.
Yeah.
24
Without a will.
million without a will. So it's still just money. He's a product that's worth more than 24 million. And if you're a product, then you're just
Yeah.
and no one really
yeah.
cares about. And that's the same as it was in the 80s, like way back. So it hasn't
I
changed.
suppose there's a bit more of an appreciation for mental health and stuff, isn't there? But I just, you sort of think like, I've always said the only people I would have no interest in being, despite what Dan thinks, A-list famous. Like, like it just, there's nothing, there's no part of me that would ever want to
Every
be.
part of you wants everybody. You want a crowd out there going,
I wanted to be Farage. We had Nigel Farage here in the week. And there was a
But
huge
on the
crowd.
podcast?
No. I did think to
Nearly.
myself, I could have pulled him in and been like, talk to Salisbury. No, you sent me off on a tale. What was I saying?
because you're imagining all those people shouting your
Yeah.
names.
I said that the music and film industry is the sole reason why I've got I would have no interest in being as famous as that. The only people I'm jealous of are like the CEOs who run these.
Silent.
Who could walk past here in a t-shirt and
Yeah.
trackies and you wouldn't know who they were.
Yeah.
But they've got all of the luxury that comes with that having that much money. Because I think like you just see so many people melting down. Like seen Justin
does
Bieber
happen a
playing
lot,
golf in
yeah.
a vest with a cigarette the other day and look awful.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, God, like again, somebody else who's just been battered and beaten and pulled around, as you said, by the industry as a cash cow for 20 years now, and you can tell like he's just lost it.
And Brittany as well.
And Brittany,
Of course, Brittany, she went downhill pretty quick. Didn't she?
It's all the people that did it young as well. It's quite sad, isn't it? Really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's interesting because it's not everybody, right? It's not everybody that was a young actor or musician. So it must be some people. I don't know what it is. Some people.
It's just
are
all the
right
mental
and-
ones.
Well, yeah.
Don't say that. Let's be a little bit PC on this podcast. It's a business podcast. Yeah. No, I do know what
The
you mean.
vulnerable ones.
Well, it's
Same thing.
amenable. The ones who kind of will just go, yeah, okay, Whereas I guess there are some people who, like you did, principle, like, no, this is mental. Like, I'm walking away. I'm not being told to do that. That's not, So
That's really surprising. Yeah, I don't know why it's surprising.
it's not surprising. It's just
should be
annoying.
obvious, yeah.
It's just annoying.
You got to have your morals, right?
Yeah.
You got to keep your morals and
Yeah.
do what you feel is right, even if you make the wrong decision. Sometimes, as long as you've done it with integrity, then
Absolutely.
Those are the people that are going to get famous. The ones that are willing to do that type of thing, aren't they? Yeah.
But you do see some people having fun with it as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I'm trying to think of some names, but I think you just have to take yourself so unseriously.
yeah.
That's why like I Show Speed and all that lot.
Mm.
Like I
streamers and
hate
stuff,
them, but I think the streamers know how to do it. like because they've sort of grown up with games and almost talking to people behind a screen. Like you can tell they just don't take themselves seriously at all. So people are like ripping, you know, and I almost think that we've transitioned into that a little bit. But the people from kind of 10, 15 years ago got swallowed up in the TikToks, the Instagrams becoming massive, and suddenly, you know, they couldn't go anywhere without getting, you know, I don't know, that's it's pretty relentless now, isn't it? You always know where someone is, you always know, and if they're not posting, then they must not be alive or their relationship's done, or you know what I mean? It's like constantly you just gotta, you know, to me that'd be tiring.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Yeah.
So part of your, we'll talk about singing.
Oh no, yeah. It's got such interesting insight on things.
Yeah.
So back to what your coaching.
Yeah.
What kind of genre do you is it like a genre focused thing, or do you kind of just do any type of vocal coaching?
So because of how I was brought up singing again with the bluegrass in the country, that was my singing. So then pop, rock, jazz, folk, that side of singing. I never really did much training in opera and classical, and I don't know that much repertoire either. So that I'd struggle a little bit with. So yeah, more pop kind of stuff. That's cool. That's what I teach.
I'd love to be able to sing country.
Country is really cool.
You look like a
yeah, with my little crappy beard.
Like a country boy.
Just a little shitty haircut. No, it's my favourite. I want to say my favourite music. My two favourite is house and country. Completely depending on the.
Is there any fusion? Is there any music out there that's combining that?
Definitely not.
No.
Like, on a Friday night, it's obviously going to be, but a lot of the time, like if I'm working, I love Zach Brown Band. I don't know if you ever heard. Literally, like I can put on. They've got 4 songs in particular, and I can just put them all on repeat.
Nice.
And it's just like, you know, you can hear like. They include like the sound of a sea in their songs, and like you know, like pebbles, and you know what I mean. It's just proper. It's country, but it's just like I find it so soothing. Nice. And I always thought to myself, sort of the Iris vibe, but if I could, the Goo Goo Dolls vibe, but if I had to just choose any genre for the rest of my life, I think it would be country. Nice. Just because I think that just gives.
Seeing a different side to you.
That just gives me, yeah. I don't like.
The sea,
I think when I was young,
pebbles.
I think when you're younger and you go into like Ibiza and you go into you want house and drum and bass and all this kind of stuff. But like I think when you get older, I think I seem to, if I was to speak to 100 people, it'd be opera because they like the anthem, you know, the anthemic stuff. But yeah, I could listen to that.
Yes. What is your favourite genre then? Is it pop, or is that just
country because of your?
Or is it?
I really like. Well, the people that kind of taught me to sing, there's a few. Would be I don't know how many of these you guys know, like Eva Cassidy, Fairground Attraction, and then Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, Nina Simone, kind of soul singers. But now we listen to like the Rolling Stones a bit, and some folk, chilled out folk. So like Laura Marling and some more relaxed kind of folk stuff.
So soulful music is you would say like that sort of. That's the deeper sounds, isn't it? It's like
I've always really loved like Eva Cassidy or someone has this amazing tone to the voice, and that's what my ears go, oh, like I love it. So it's a bit controversial, but I've never been a big fan of the Beatles because I don't really like the sound of their voices. It doesn't do anything for me.
Clip that.
So
I love the Beatles.
Hounded. I'll get chucked out of Salisbury now for that. But yeah, no, the tone of the voice and someone doing acrobatics with their voice. I love it.
Singing teacher slates Beatles.
I didn't slate them.
That's the podcast title.
I'll clip it so it sounds like she slated them.
I just think back in that era, you were either Rolling Stones or Beatles, and I think I would have been Rolling Stones. Put it that way.
Enough. I think I probably would have been Rolling Stones.
I'd have been in that camp, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to pause for 2 seconds because I need to shut that blind because it's. This happened with Hattie as well, so now we're not using that light because we need to get different lights. By the way,
that's more stuff for me to pay out.
Yeah, so it's gonna because your top is sparkly, it's like blinding the camera.
How can you tell?
Oh.
How can you tell?
Because I just know what happens with
What?
light.
Oh yeah, I'm like a disco ball.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Disco ball.
So have you been to Ibiza and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's your scene.
Not anymore. Younger.
Yeah.
Younger. Yeah, just between 17 and 22, 23 as you do, or as I did. But yeah, no, I never, or again, that sort of music to me has a time and a place.
Yeah.
Like there are some people that would just sit in the car on a long drive and just play house music for 4 hours. I can't do that. After 20 minutes, it's a bit like, oh, shut up. You know, like whereas
I can't even listen to music on a road trip anymore because I've been teaching people all day and listening to music. I'm like, no more music, no more.
Just need the sound of waves. Like,
send me that pedal song.
Yeah. No, I always find the only music I can actually truly relax to is country music. Just like that just chilled out vibe, and you know, like my ideal vibe right now would be outside in the garden with a barbecue and some country music on. You know what I mean, with a beer.
I do like country music. Good.
Just but again, my knowledge of it is I really would love to go to more gigs. I'd really love to even, you know, because I'm a creature of habit. So like if I'm thinking country music, I'm thinking I'll just stick on Zac Brown. Or I'll stick on, like, I remember listening to Blake Shelton stuff when he was on The Voice, you know?
Yeah.
And because I can get well lost in, like, The Voice on a Saturday night, like, auditions from 2011, and just suddenly I've watched 800 of them. So I ended up listening to some of his stuff and really liked that. I really liked a lot of that. So I really would, that's probably where I think I would spend more time listening to music. And then obviously, of course, if you're out with your friends and, you know, then clearly I don't want 12 p.m, 1 a.m. in the morning, probably not country music, but
that's why I find it quite hard when you say what's your genre, because every bit music has different places, doesn't it, depending on what you're doing and where you are. It's different music.
I also feel like that's like asking a parent, what was your favourite child? Do you know what I mean? Like a singing teacher where you're Hugo. Hugo?
I'm kidding. I'm not going to answer that question, obviously.
But so one thing I'm curious on is the level of, do you get people from all levels coming to you for their training, or do you say like you can't be a potato to come to me, or do you say you want
potato?
Or just someone that can't sing? So would you want people who are like proper newbies and you take them on that journey, or do you then have some people come to you and say, you know, I haven't sung for 5 years, but I used to do da 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 da, and then you can kind of, you know, mold them.
So there's almost like a circuit of singing teachers and vocal coaches, and you get to know lots of other vocal coaches, and there's lots and lots out there. And if you're doing one-to-one, you only need about 25 to be completely fully booked. So you might as well have a niche and know what your niche is. And my niche is adults. I love teaching adults or teenagers. I let teenagers in, but adults that are beginner. That's
and when you say beginner, what are we talking here?
Potato.
Well, you, because
potato.
Potatoes. Yeah.
An
absolute potato.
So you get people come to you that really cannot sing.
To me, they've just got loads of potential. I'm just because I love so much. So quite a lot of the time, I have taught people that have like been touring and a professional singer, but their confidence is already there, right? They're already touring. They might want to work on some technique, and that's cool. I can do it. But what feeds me and what I'm passionate about is someone who I think like just doesn't have the confidence. And I love being able to be that person to get it.
Because people have told me I'm crap.
But you need a bit of skill set as well. Like you need. Then that's where I come in. Like you can learn the skills, and then your confidence will grow, and that's what I love doing. So for me, beginners are
nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's
potatoes.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's where I sit.
I
love them.
Do you find people pick it up? Well, obviously, I guess the answer to this is definitely going to be yes. But do you find people pick it up quicker than others? Like some people will just listen to something you say and go like that, and then you know in. Oh God! I just had that tonic nearly came up then.
I knew that wasn't going to be the last thing you were going to talk about.
Oh my God, that was awful.
I wonder what was happening.
That made my eyes water. I thought that tonic.
A part of me kind of wanted you to
just to be sick everywhere
because there was like content.
Oh my God! I felt like it was my chest was about to like blow up. Oh my God, that was awful.
Was it pins and needles?
No. If I was the first person to feel that though, I was going right on.
I've forgotten what your question was. I have no idea what you said. I have no idea.
Sorry, do you find that people pick it up quicker than others, and do you find like there's like Dan and I would come along as newbies, and then you know just because of intuition or something that he picks it up quicker than I do you see quite a lot of disparity in how quickly people progress, or is it more just like no, there's quite a set thing of people can't cheat the system?
I think the more open people are to being silly and going out of their comfort zone, they tend to pick things up faster. There's some people that if they're really locked in and set in their kind of muscular habits, then we sometimes have to work to just relax it out a little
Yeah,
bit.
you got a lot of work to do with
Who do you
me
reckon
then.
would pick it up quicker out of us two?
Definitely you.
Yeah, I would. I would.
See?
Yeah. Well,
Wait, what was the question?
who would pick it
He
up?
said who would pick it up quicker, me or Adam?
I don't know, sing something.
Oh God, yeah, that's bold. No, I feel as though
Yeah, he's changing the subject now.
No,
You don't want to sing
no,
something? Sing it.
No,
The other day you were singing "Fly Me to the Moon."
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you did.
Lovely
I've
voice.
got it on camera.
Was
Lovely
I?
voice.
I was singing
No,
"Fly Me
it's
to the
not.
Moon." Fly me.
See, this is maybe we're probably the same then. I reckon.
No, I feel as though I'm just a bit more extroverted than you, so I probably would have less of a care about,
doing
yeah. Whereas you're probably a bit more stiff. You're a bit more rigid, aren't you?
It's true. Yeah, it is true.
I can imagine you sort of going, whereas I'd just be like, right, go on. Let's...
I reckon though, both of you this weekend, you're going to go home and do a bit of practice. I know it.
You-
I
you-
can feel it.
When I'm in the house, I am singing
You're
all the
singing,
time.
there we go.
I've got so many problems though with singing that. So I yawn when I'm singing, so I can't sing without then suddenly yawning at some point.
That tells me you're not breathing proproperly because your brain's like, give me some oxygen.
No, I have a student that does that, and it's because you're thinking about your posture and you're actually breathing properly, so you start yawning and opening up and relaxing. It's a good thing.
Oh, I don't really do the posture thing though.
He's slumped on the floor,
ready to sing. I'm just
yawning
washing
again.
up or something, or in the shower, and then I sing, and then I just start yawning.
What's the easiest? So if you were to say to us that I guess two questions. How long would you give us to be able to sing in front of like, let's say, people we knew and give them some sort of positive experience? So would that be like so if we started with you next week, what would you like if I was like, for Christmas this year I want to just surprise the family?
Are we going to do a podcast series of me just coming and doing lessons every week
very,
until
very
you
potentially.
I
6
think
months
that
until
might be
you're
a good
on,
idea.
and
Yeah,
then
it's
you guys-
promotional for you. Is that right?
And then if we combine it with Hattie, we can dance and
Dancing.
sing.
Oh wow, this is my dream come true.
Dan's going to be like Jason
Forget the
Donovan
market
reborn.
business.
yeah.
Well, we'll start now. So both of you are slouching, so you've got to sit up.
Oh dear.
I'm not ready.
This is going to be
I'm not ready. Right, are you sitting up? You've got to be off. You can't lean against the back.
Oh,
Yeah, just lean forward. Yeah, good. Very, very good. Maybe just...
water in here.
Do you want some tonic?
Absolutely
No.
not. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. Now you put your hands on your stomach and then blow out. But as you blow out, bring your stomach in. That's it.
That's easier for you than us.
That's diaphragm. Breathe in. And then, oh,
Oh.
beautiful.
What
That
does
is the
that do?
beginnings. That gives you more support on your sound. Oh,
I don't feel like I was doing it properly.
You are.
What am I doing?
So when you want to sing your note, like engage here.
Oh.
Couldn't have been any better.
I
Brilliant.
feel like
It definitely could.
That was
I-
terrible.
No, it's good.
So my best mate has singing lessons, and he's actually pretty good. So he'll find this hilarious. He'll find just that 5 seconds absolutely hilarious.
That's all you need now.
I'm practicing
You're ready
that.
to go off. You're on the stage.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
good.
just gonna wake up in the
now.
morning. Every morning I'm gonna set up now and just go, oh. Probably some of them sounding a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so is breathing the first port of where most people get it wrong?
Yeah. So
You think?
yeah, breathing's really important. That structures everything that you do, and then you make your sound here. So if you put your fingers here on your larynx, do you feel your larynx there?
Mm-hmm.
And you go woo.
Oh yeah, that's creepy.
It moves around, right?
Yeah.
So all your sounds are made in there, and then you shape it. Whoa. Yeah. That's it. That's your instrument. So you're like a saxophone, but we're a
That's
singer
mad.
instead. We're an instrument.
Nobody's ever called me a saxophone before.
Yeah.
I love this part. I knew I was going to love this
You've been
podcast.
called worse. I know
There we
that.
go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
So
that's. I can't. Yeah, that's really. I think. Yeah.
You
I
can
can't
relax
wait
now,
to
you can relax
practice.
now.
I can't wait to
Oh, I'm set up now. I'm in the zone.
Now I thought before this started, I had a few conversations with people, and I was like, "Is it weird if I say, can you sing something to the singer that comes on the podcast?" And they were like, "Yeah, don't say it." But now I've just said it. So
yeah. That's like That's like saying there's a girl over the other side of the room. Oh, should I go and talk? Go on, go and chat her up for me and see if she's interested. Like
Adam, can you ask her to sing?
yeah, you've just suggested it without suggesting it. That's no.
I'm like you with the voice and stuff. I can just go on this singing. Like there's this girl that's going viral at the moment that's in America or whatever, and she's singing this Articulate thing. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah. She's working with Cheryl Porter.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And like Ed Sheeran's been in touch with her and things like that now, and I just cannot stop watching that video of her singing it. And so I've just got this weird fascination. Well, I think it's jealousy out of everything, really.
It's weird, but I think we said like it was why out of all of the podcasts so far, Paddy was the one that kind of I was most interested in because I have no perception of it. Yeah. He's obviously a farmer, and so you're there going like, okay, I understand the corporate stuff that some of the other, but like farming was just such a, and I think because we all love music and singing, and that like our understanding of it and what's needed to be as good as you are, and you know what I mean, it's just so alien, isn't it? And that's the I think that's what you're saying is like there's just an appreciation that we can't sing, so therefore anybody that can sing, I just have an insane amount of respect for. Anybody who can act, we can't act, so anyone that can act, I've got an insane, anything that's how my brain works. Anything I cannot do, I respect people that can.
Yeah, definitely.
Does that make sense? Whereas like weirdly, if I look at you'd think actually because people in the property business or people in the, like you think I'd respect them more because I do it and I understand where they go, but it's like, I sort of get it. I know, you do it a bit different, but with what you do, it's just this incredible level of like, I have it take years and years and years of religious practice to get anywhere near being an acceptable singer, and then you just crack out these incredible notes, and and you sort of, I don't know, it's a thing because we have no ability.
You're
or
probably
concept.
better than you realise, but when you sing, maybe you're questioning it or not feeling like, whereas a singer who's done it for a very long time and on stage just doesn't worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
So part of it is just in the mind a
Relaxation.
little bit. Yeah.
I think a lot of why I thought I could sing was, and I was convinced like I sounded exactly like Robbie Williams because I had my headphones.
This is the level of delusion I have to deal with on a weekly basis.
I mean, hold on.
Read that, but say that back to yourself. Clip that.
I'm not getting involved. You guys can.
When I've got my headphones in and I'm listening to something and I'm singing at the same time, obviously
you think the sound in your ears is the sound.
That's Robbie Williams though.
I know, but I think I'm matching their tone and stuff.
Yeah.
So I used to have an office under my stairs, so it was like a little Harry Potter cupboard, and the whole family were out. So I went under, and I was doing some work, and I thought, I'm going to put some music on. So I don't know why I'm saying this story.
This is so embarrassing.
Why am I saying the story?
You were singing, and then everyone
I know why I'm
back.
saying it because I wrote it down earlier. I was like, I'm going to tell them that story.
Did everyone come back?
Hey?
You were singing with headphones and everyone came
No.
back? Oh.
I was singing with the headphones on and I thought, do you know what? I think that sounds quite good. And I was singing like Millennium or something like that.
Millennium.
Or Angels was on
Great
there
song.
as well,
Okay,
obviously. But it was all Robbie Williams. And then I thought, I'm going to record myself. So
Brilliant.
I recorded myself singing it. Obviously, you can't hear the music, so it's just my voice. And then after that moment, that was the most upset I've ever been because I was like, that is the worst thing I have ever heard.
I mean, to be honest, I've recorded my voice and had that same feeling as well. Like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. In my life.
But this is the worst thing anyone has ever heard. Like it was,
that recording should be the end credits of this.
I
episode.
definitely haven't got that right. That was deleted immediately. I was like, nobody will ever know about that moment until I have a podcast.
I do think we should do I don't know if you can do a joint lesson and we should record it.
Yeah. So we've got a dance class to do, and if you're happy to do that, I think that'd be well cool.
Yeah.
We'll record it and then
we could do it here, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, or unless you've got like anywhere more
No, he's great.
More acoustic.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I think it's something I'd love to do. I'd love to be able to not even do, because I'm just not going to go around singing for a living, obviously. But it's like, it would be nice to just have a better understanding of how to do it. Mm-hmm. Like I have a real curiosity for anything about just like wanting to learn and constantly push myself and just constantly learn new things.
Whereas I want to be a superstar singer.
Yeah. On this we are aligned. But it's like, there's just this idea of like just having an understanding of how because I want to understand better how singers are so good. And actually, as you said, you sing it in the shower or in the car, or and you think, oh, I actually sound right.
Yeah, well, because and I think I can't think of how I could possibly do that any different than I'm already doing it. So that's what I'm really intrigued about.
Well,
is like,
we could do it now then. Like, sing something, and I'll tell you what to do differently. Go on, go for it.
Good at it. I did, and my other
You can
problem,
always edit it out.
I was listing my problems earlier. The other problem I've got is that I don't know the words to any songs. Like even the songs I listen to on a daily basis.
Well, no, I think it's under pressure.
It's not even under pressure. I'm at home and I just make the words up. I'm well known to make all of the words up.
Come on, what's a song that you just can't not know the words to? The only song is Nickelback Rockstar, but I need to get going.
I feel really nervous.
I can see you sweating.
What song do I know the words to?
Iris Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, no, but I feel like I need to hear the beat to get going.
I don't know the beat.
What's a common song that everyone knows?
Angels.
How does it start?
Actually, rock DJ.
My pain walks down a one-way street.
See, he's better than me.
Nice.
Yay! but I feel as though when I get going, I feel like I can sing softly, because I sung a little bit when I was at school.
Mm-hmm.
I just did a couple of plays that had some.
Oh, so you've got experience?
No. One was Robin Hood, where it was like.
You love that Robin Hood thing.
Yeah,
You've mentioned that loads of times.
I had to do a bit of singing in that, and then I did some school. But I feel as though, because when I got to like 16, 17, I started drinking, as you do, and unfortunately smoked a bit as well. But I feel as though then I immediately just felt like my throat started getting all croaky, and like, as you do, I'm sure if we looked at the science behind people smoking and drinking, it probably isn't any good for singing.
Lady Gaga's doing fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. But I feel as though like when I'm at a kind of that sort of the pain walks down, I feel like I can keep it. Whereas the moment that I have to do, like when I'm in the car and I'll be like, and it suddenly sounds like, at least that's what I hear.
That's mine is like the voice break thing.
See what I mean? So as soon as you go, and then obviously I'm listening to like stuff on The Voice and things, and I love the bit where they're here, which I feel as though I can sort of hum along to, and then the moment they go here and it's the power. Yeah. I just suddenly find myself going, and it's just the strain, and so obviously that's clearly the lack of strength in as you said, the muscles. But
there's lots and lots and lots of skills to learn to go to that sort of level. I hear what you're saying, like, and you have to train. Again, it's like sport. You can't just go from there to there. You have to go through the steps. But there's you can learn it. Your muscles would be able to do it. So like when they do the big bit, there's something called cry. So they cry the big notes. They still have all of the support, but rather than going through it and getting stuck with the larynx there, they cry, and then it will come out. And through it all, she offers me protection. But you're crying.
Yeah.
A lot of love and affection.
Oh, that's so good, isn't it?
Rather than
that's really good.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of kind of skills.
But that looks so effortless. But that's what it is, isn't it?
I'm like 78.
You look great for 78.
No, but it's like that's like that just looks so effortless. And that's the bit that gets me is like, but again, that's the relaxation, isn't it? That's the fact that you've got that memory, that muscle memory.
Yeah, muscle memory. Yeah.
And because like just doing that, you can see how effortless that was. And yet you and I are just there going, pain was and it's like you're so tense and you're forcing it and you're
and terrified and nervous and sweating.
You might be.
I guess it's like a bit like driving. If you go for your first driving lesson, you have to think about everything. It's all clunky, but then after a couple of years, you don't think about it all anymore. But it's all still happening, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I don't drive either. So. I got nothing going.
So you're a very uncultured man, aren't you?
You can't sing,
doesn't drive.
Or editing something, you'd have to think about all the steps and it'd be very clunky, but after a while you're not thinking about it anymore, right? It's just all happening,
don't tell, but you've just got an AI thing, haven't you?
Shut up.
He basically puts it into
the good news is, if you want to do it, go for it. You can do it. Yeah. It's not something you're born with or not born with. You can do it. And you sounded great today. You both sound
me, not you.
I know you're talking about you.
Yeah. We should do that. I would love to. I have searched singing teachers a couple of times, but you sit and you're like, oh yeah, And I'm thinking I'm getting home at 7 every night, so I'm just knackered, and then at the weekends I play golf and whatever. So I just feel as though I'd love to make time.
I would drop everything. I would drop everything for the singing lessons, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what,
I wasn't expecting this to come in, so this is so lovely.
Oh, honestly, yeah, that is the number one thing.
If you know how much he's been banging on about you coming on, then you definitely would. Yeah, we'll
do it.
We'll do that. We'll cover that off. Because I think because I also I had a really bad panic attack on the tube in London when I was 24, so it's nearly 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago, and I struggled with my breathing for 2 years because obviously you panic it, and I came away from it, and obviously I wasn't panicking all the time, but I was really tired all the time, and I couldn't work for a while, and it really was bothering me, and I was going to the doctor, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. They were like, well, we just must be fatigued and all this kind of jazz, and I was like, yeah, no, I know that. What's causing it? And they just couldn't find anything, and then I went to a specialist place in Romsey, and they said, you're shallow breathing, and so I was literally almost panting all the time. That makes sense? So I was like, literally, so when you looked, my chest was going like this, and like I just wasn't using any of these muscles. So I basically for 6 months had to just every 5, 6, 7 times a day, whenever I stopped, I'd had to for like 3 or 4 minutes at a time go, and like breathe out and in, and it was hugely. But I always feel myself when I get tired and fatigued. I now think, and I can feel myself breathing through here. So I've always thought, and it's something they said you could struggle with. Not struggle with, because I still gym and still can do things, and so it's not really holding me back necessarily. But I do think when I get stressed and when I have those tough days, I make it worse because I can feel myself shallow breathing, and so I've always thought, and when I was having the consultation, he actually said, like, if you sing, it'll massively help you, and so I've always thought to myself, like, clearly this is something I'm gonna have to manage probably for the rest of my life. In the stress moments, that actually, like, if I started singing, my breathing would get a lot better, and it would actually be a huge health thing, because I find myself not breathing properly, and so that's why
that's great. Yeah, I had no idea.
That's why the breathing thing I think really kind of resonates, and I would love to. Why I really want to do singing, because that to me would, the singing is the singing.
Yeah.
But as soon as he said to me, like if you were to do any vocal training or any singing, it will help your breathing, and then the more you do that, the more your body just goes, okay, cool, well, we'll use that all the time then.
Yeah.
Rather than just like retrained myself just to be basically going the whole time, and obviously you don't get enough oxygen in your brain.
Nobody else notice around you?
No, I went to. It took me about 9-10 months of going back to the doctor 6, 7, 8 times, and they were like, right, well, our last port of call is to send you over. I had blood tests for absolutely everything. It was all clear, and then I literally sat down there for maybe about 5 minutes, and he just went, "You're shallow breathing," and
Wow.
and it was so crazy, because within 6 months my head was clear, wasn't getting brain fog, I was back to work, and so now I really notice it, because obviously it was such a thing that changed how I was feeling. But yeah, like this, and so every now and again I'll just in the car, like, because I drive a lot and I sit down a lot in people's houses and things, so I'm crunched up, and so every time I get back in the car, I was trying to sit back and like take like 3 or 4 deep breaths, because I do feel myself.
And did that all stem from the
panic attack?
From the panic attack? One panic attack?
I had 2. One was bad. One was like just a little bit like I knew what it was that time. But basically it just because I went through such a anxious, you're almost like fight or flight at that point, and fight or flight is obviously like you're just desperately trying to get oxygen.
Yeah.
Like if you were drowning or you were struggling in water, you wouldn't be going, all right. Do you know what I mean?
Why not?
Yeah, because then you'd be. So like obviously at that point that's fine. You're supposed to shallow breathe in that situation, but again, like same way, the reason you have a panic attack is, I don't know, this is not away from singing, but the reason you have a panic attack is because like it's the same feeling as if you're about to jump out of a plane. It's the same feeling as if you're about to take an exam, but in that context, your brain understands your anxiety. So it goes, okay, well, you're supposed to feel a bit anxious and a bit now, because you're about to jump out of a plane, because you're about to take a really important exam, because you're about to take your driving test, But I was sat on the tube after a normal day at work on my way to the gym reading a paper. And so my heart started going like this, started getting, and as if the same feeling as if I was about to, my adrenaline spikes, and obviously my brain was like, well, it shouldn't be. And so I couldn't process it. And so I thought I was having a heart attack. and so then you start panicking and you shallow breathing, and I sort of stumbled off like 4 stops earlier than our house, and these 2 guys helped me off because I was about to faint because I had no, so
Jeez.
breathing's always been like breathing's always been quite a thing. And so
you know how important it can be.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah, absolutely, and even just those breathing things in my car. So I think I would like to. I don't know what
Have you had anybody that's had a similar situation that, or done it for health reasons, like got singing lessons or
Oh, gotcha.
that kind of thing?
Yeah, the majority. Well, it's all like for yourself. I would say to you, even if you don't think of yourself as a great singer, it's not a reason to not sing, because singing is so beneficial. Like the breathing that you'd be doing just naturally when you're singing, posture, your body's like, it's a bit deeper, like vibrating, and it's doing things on a different level to when we're just speaking. When we're speaking, it's only on a partial level, but when you sing, your body's doing things in a way that it's just so good for you. So it doesn't matter if you're not going to be famous.
Dopamine, you get that.
Yeah, it's amazing for you. So just do it. If you like singing, do it.
Yeah, Kat, I'm going to do it.
It's good for you.
It's something so
Stay quiet,
self-deprecating.
kids.
Yeah, learn to sing.
No, enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
I think it's a hell of.
I love singing, even like I know I'm not singing well at that time, but I love doing it still. And it's weird because it's anytime there's a loud noise, not a loud noise. That sounds really weird. Like
fireworks going
or
off.
something.
Yeah.
But like if I turn the tap on or flush the toilet or I go in the shower, anytime there's that like sort of muffly sound, I sing. And I don't even know I'm doing it. Like it just happens.
Well, it's like sing. What's this?
Is that
It's
normal?
like sing like no one's watching or listening.
Yeah.
Like that's so true, isn't it? Because there's.
Because that's some
Why
sort of
would you sing in the
subconscious
shower
thing.
unless it made you feel some kind of freedom, like, yeah. And you love watching these people on like The Voice and X Factor and stuff. Like you can see that like when they're doing it, they're just caught up in this like zone.
Like meditating.
Yeah, and then when they finish, they kind of snap back into it, and then suddenly they're like, "Oh, I'm in front of a crowd and everyone's clapping. Oh shit!" And they all start crying. But it's like for that 3 minutes.
I love that you see that in them.
Yeah.
You notice that.
Well, it's fascinating. It really is because you can tell there's obviously like a trance almost.
Yeah.
Like where you're just
like it is. I guess just like meditating, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a different form of meditating.
So in terms of singing in front of a crowd, is that how does that change your? Do you just feel like because obviously I guess pressure in sport is a thing. Is you see people in the X Factor getting nervous. Yeah. How does singing in your studio by yourself compare to singing in front of an audience where you've got people eyeballing you?
I think what's cool is that AI is going to take over a lot of things. AI is going to be big, right? We can't really fight it. It's just going to be part of the world. But what it can't replicate or take away is that amazing energy when you're at a live gig and there's a live and when you're singing, you don't always hit that magical moment or whatever. It's not every gig, but sometimes you do. And when you do, the audience do. And then you all kind of like,
special
it's
moment.
a pretty cool thing to hit. It doesn't happen at every gig, but it's...
Yeah. But it's so true, isn't it? Like the Arsenal Real Madrid game, everybody at that game was like, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, it's a moment.
And it's like, as you say, like it's a collection of people experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
That as you say, human AI will help us do things quicker and it will help us be more efficient in things, but it's never going to replace the
atmosphere.
That atmosphere,
kind of buzz
being at a wedding with your friends and being at a gig, and because that's irreplaceable, isn't it? And
it'll become even more special, I think.
Absolutely,
I think we'll appreciate of that even more the more AI does stuff. So we'll see anyway.
Yeah, things are changing, like going backwards now. So I think I watched something that was like the predictions by this marketing person, and it was that people are going to start actually going and wanting to meet face to face rather than doing phone calls and things like that, because phone calls are becoming AI. The chatbots are AI, and you never know. There are actually video camera AI things now. So they're like interviewing people and doing stuff like that. So you don't even know if you're actually talking to a person.
Yeah, that's so true.
Which is, so people are going to revert back to actually doing a lot of face-to-face meetings and going into shops rather than ordering online and stuff.
But you can hear everyone out on the street now. Like, we're not designed to be so isolated. We want to be together, don't we?
Yeah. I went to watch Army versus Navy, the rugby. And the guy that organised us all going, so there's about 30 of us, he started a Mexican wave. And it failed about 10 times. But then at some point, one started off the back of what he was doing, and it did about 6 laps of the whole stadium. And it was just the coolest thing ever. That was like
something basic, but it shows that we all want to be part of
yeah,
something.
it's just,
you know,
yeah. Even the posh box, like where the rich people are, they were all doing it as well.
Did they do it in a posh way?
Yeah.
Just a little.
Just put down the
pinky.
the champagne and the cigars for it.
Yeah, so it's just things like that, isn't it? So you'll never replace that kind of stuff.
Is that your favourite thing about what you do? Like that feeling of togetherness and that feeling of like creating experiences for people that ultimately they'll remember. Like I guess that's probably the singing performances, and then I guess the backup of that is you seeing people, but because of your teaching, create memories for themselves. Like,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah. It's all of it really. I can't say it's one thing. It's all of it. But when I'm singing at a gig, the best thing is if I'm not thinking about the audience. If I just get into a zone, they'll come with me.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite 3 songs to sing? Like if someone said to you, like a bit of a cliche, isn't it? Like what's your 3 favorite? If we put you on the spot now and said, right, you got to walk outside and sing 3 songs, what would be? Do you have any go-tos that you'd be like, right, that's a banker. Everyone loves that one.
Sarah McLachlan, Angel. It's very sad.
Okay.
It's very sad.
I think I've heard that.
Sad. I like the sad ones.
But it's emotive, isn't
I
it?
like a good cry every now and then. It's fun.
But then, okay, to flip side, I'll do something like Tina Turner, Proud Mary, or
Oh
something.
my God,
fun.
my
There
mates
we
are
go.
going to be so...
Alright, we'll do something
So
fun.
Tina Turner,
we'll do
every
Tina
single
Turner.
time we'd go out, we'd play all this really serious house music while we were drinking. And then I'd play, as before we left, I'd play Tina Turner, Simply the Best. Everyone would be like, the taxi's here. And I'd literally play it and we'd all be there going, Simply the Best. Down. And then we'd get in the cab and we'd be like, can you put it on, driver? So that is, Tina Turner is my favourite. That's so fun.
I don't know any house tracks to...
No,
I took a pill and a beat. No, is that house?
That is
You love that
That's
one.
a classic. No, it's just like there's not even. Again, I'm not a connoisseur of house music by any stretch, but house music more comes with the experience that goes alongside it, in my view.
Gotcha.
Like to me, there's no house music song that makes me go, oh.
Gotcha.
Like there's a couple that make me think, oh God, I remember when I was at college and we were going out in town, and every time we used to walk into N&N, you know, which is an old nightclub we had here, which shut 10, 12 years ago, but it was where we spent most of our sort of first 2 or 3 years clubbing. You'd hear like Tinchy Strider, or you'd hear, like, it's not a house, is it? But like there were certain songs that like you knew would resonate with an experience.
Yeah.
So I would say house music for me is more like akin to the situation that I find myself in, like in an Ibiza or a holiday when I was younger. Whereas I feel as though the likes of, whether it be Tina Turner or whether it be country, I feel as though I can actually, the music is the music.
Yeah, it's
Does that
interesting.
make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel as though in a vacuum I could sit in a lift by myself if it was broken down and just listen to country music. Whereas if I listen to house music in a lift, I'd just be a bit like... So I'd probably be hoping the lights started flickering or something, because to me there's no... And again, there's people out there that will disagree with me because they'll be able to listen to that in their own environment. But yeah, for me, I think like you get me singing Tina Turner, Simply the Best, or like a Whitney Houston song, or like some of the soulful stuff that you said. My Barry White was my grandfather's funeral. He Barry White, so I listened to that song quite a lot. I'm actually softer than you think. He thinks I'm some sort of like...
You just got a hard shell.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, again, because that has more meaning to me, I like the song. But to me, it feels like it's got that meaning of some more depth. Whereas again, the house music is like, if I was to go out in a few hours and just, be in a bar, I'd want to hear some house music because it just goes along with the beer and it goes along with the chatting and it goes along with
the whole point of it is that you're not so into it, but it's this nice backdrop,
Absolutely.
right? And so you can chat, and so that's what I mean. Every different music has its sort of place where it works.
I think a lot of it's quite basic as well. Like house music, a lot of it's the same sounds and it's the same. Like I'm certain that I've listened to 2 completely different songs from 2 and they all sound the same.
Yeah.
Whereas like I don't think you get that as much with some of the more the emotional music. It's kind of got a...
So interesting. I never really thought about music in that way before, so it's very interesting. Like it.
Yes, deeped it out.
Yeah, it's cool.
No, it's really interesting. But we'll definitely do we'll definitely
A
come
singing
along.
session. Yeah, that'll be funny.
You're going to be dancing and singing
Yeah.
and skydiving.
Watch me, I'll be at the Playhouse within 18 months.
Another poster.
Hattie's going to be finding me she's going to be. You can be my singing teacher. Hattie can be the dancing, and
Gladly, I'm
I'll
in.
film it.
and you can film it and then take the
I'm
bit.
in.
Yeah. That sounds
So
good.
the other thing we do is ask you the question the previous guest asked. There you go.
There you go.
Right. So
question, that.
we'll restart as if nothing happened. We didn't just go and look up the question. Hattie, that was a great question, and we didn't forget it on purpose.
That's really
So the question is.
That's not even a question that I can make a funny answer. Like I have to actually.
To be fair, I
make
feel
a-
like
make a
I feel like
question.
I've deeped out this a bit more than I thinking. This episode, this is the most deep I've said anything on.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you've gone really deep.
So
Welcome.
I don't. Yeah.
The water's warm.
I liked it. I feel spiritualized. Yeah, but so
can't help it,
I don't think you need to make just.
Yeah. So the question is, you've made me forget the question again.
What was your
One job, Dan. One job.
What was your what's been your kind of biggest obstacle from
yeah.
starting your business to now, like obviously transitioning, I guess, for you from singing to being a business owner, and what's been the challenge?
Just the first thing that comes to my mind, to just being honest, and I don't know if you guys feel the same if you're in your own business, like you're always winging it and you never know what the right thing to do is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you
is
think
the
you're the only
secret.
one, but really everyone is. But you're always thinking, like, what do I do? Is this the right thing to do? Because you're running things yourself. There isn't anybody there to say, yes, that is absolutely the right thing. So it's the question marks.
Love that.
That is, yeah, and I think that is a secret thing that all business owners have to themselves, is that they're just winging it. They you know what you're doing, and we spoke about this in the first one. You get imposter syndrome. Well, I got imposter syndrome really bad at the beginning, where I was just thinking like, I have no idea what I'm doing with any of this stuff, and I don't even know how to do marketing anymore. But that was literally just, as soon as I had my clients and I gave them results, it was gone. But that is the full thing, is that it was just a case of, let's just keep winging it, and you'll learn on your way and as you go and stuff like that. So yeah,
Even
that
now,
is-
and I hope you don't mind me saying this, you, after the last podcast, you mentioned that you've had a tough couple of last couple of weeks.
oh yeah, okay, we'll mention it.
No, but he's had a couple of clients who were, have gone in a different direction with stuff, and I said I've had 2 clients today, decide not to sell, like, it's ultimately, but like I think you got off to such a fast start, didn't you?
Yeah,
But
I didn't expect
then now
the
you're probably
downfall.
experiencing.
I say downfall. It's not so much a downfall, and also, by the way, I've managed to claw it back since then. But
Okay.
no,
But it's true, isn't it? Like
it is true.
It's silly to
it
suggest that.
It hit me quite hard because it went so well at the beginning, and I was like, this is fantastic, and then 3 different things happened on the same day where it was like, oh, we're going to do this instead. Oh, this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. All 3 different clients as well, and I was like,
That's the definition.
oh, I
of
didn't
win.
expect that. So it was a hard couple of weeks.
It's not winging it, is it? But it's like as in the situation you're going in. But it's like, you've got to understand that there's not going to be. You can't always have a strategy for everything.
Yeah, you just
there
take
are
it
going to
as
be
it
times
is.
where you get a couple of people that say, "Sorry, I'm committed to start with you." They don't, and it just. I think there's this perception, and everybody we've had on has had the same thing, and so we're like, we think that by doing this, it's like eventually there'll be 20, 30 people come on, and they're all like, "Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing there." Or we didn't know what we were doing there, or I'm texting Dan like an hour and a half ago, being like, I'm not sure I'm going to make it tonight because I've got, and you're just constantly like, and social media, it looks all great and it looks all fluffy, but I completely agree with you. Like winging it in the professional sense is just part of running your own business. Because
Cheers to
Yeah,
winging it.
Yeah, let's just wing it.
Just keep on.
I just don't think
winging
you can ever know what's around the corner.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
true. Yeah.
I think
And somebody will always ask you a question that you've never been asked before. I've had that a few times where
Absolutely.
someone will just say something and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, there's a lot of that. But
I think
to be a successful business owner, you have to be good at winging stuff.
I think
There you go.
I think the 2 answers that I think we get most commonly are that and getting started. So it's like this idea of like, and I guess
The making the leap part.
the making the leap to go from being a very talented singer who could have just kept doing that, but you've made the jump to go, okay, that could have fallen flat on its face. It could have, like you are taking a leap of faith. And I think there's just so many people out there that probably want to get started, but just, this is that leap of faith, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
looking back now, though, from when I did sort of transition, the thing that's helped me, I think, has been consistency.
absolutely.
Because I haven't really veered too much. I've just small steps, but it's just consistency, and that will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, once you hit that consistency part as well, it makes things a lot easier.
You follow me on Instagram, don't you?
Yeah.
You better do.
I do, yeah.
I love sharing like little inspirational, motivational quotes, and so much of them are about consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency beats motivation.
Yeah.
So like, there's lots of people that get motivated for something and then they just next week they're not motivated.
Is that the ones where you're like on the phone, pictures of you on the phone, like?
Yeah, no, that's
I love this.
I took those pictures, so I know they are.
And you can start doing some singing ones now too.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
And also low key. So in my property videos, I do bits in front of the camera. So I do a little bit of like TV style.
Awesome.
And there was one that went mad viral. Do you remember it last year? Where the lady was singing awfully. But I would love like next year just to randomly bang out like it's a 3-bit city in lava star. That'd be hilarious.
You are quite good at singing.
Brilliant.
I'm not. Do
you want to come work for me as a teacher?
Yes. You heard.
The singing estate agent.
How's it, schmauzers?
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I'd love to do something like that. That would be that'd be hilarious. So your question to the next person, which we don't know who it might be. It might be one of the local radio presenters. So who is part of that? So, in fact, we're not supposed to do that, are we? The idea is you're not supposed to know.
Yeah, it's not
okay, we'll make sure it's not the local.
You won't know who it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my first one is, if you could be any of these on these shelves, what item would you be?
Well, mine initially was the pink astronaut, but
not a
then you
question to
broke his
us.
leg.
That's not a question to us.
Oh no, it's not, is it?
That's for the
I'm
next-
answering anyway because you broke my astronaut.
I know I owe you money for this. I will make amends.
£3.50.
I
To be
will
honest,
make amends.
it's been a
This,
long.
it's not for you. You can't answer it.
No, I know.
No, but I really want to answer.
It's been a long
it.
day, and I'm tired, and I.
Don't
break
break
it.
anything else. Do you remember the strawberry nearly fell on your head?
Oh yeah.
Look how hectic this is.
Oh, it's- I'm going to change my decision. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be this.
Good choice.
Yeah, but for any of those
Good
who don't.
choice.
For those of you who
It's
don't drink
from
the Queen.
a fort in
Mason.
Portsmouth.
Oh.
Yeah, Portsmouth. Yeah, it was like a fort distillery converted. It was quite cool.
I can't make poo of it. I hope it's a really serious person who has to answer this question.
Do you want a backup one as well?
Yeah.
An
Well,
actual-
you go with the one that you initially were thinking of.
Yeah,
'cause
okay.
you did have one as well.
So, if you could give advice to someone who's just starting out and really wants to pursue something they really want to start, what would be your 3 tips?
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Like
That's
that.
good.
Cool.
So the other thing before we run out of something else is a local charity. So you just have to pick a local charity that will donate £100 to.
That's
Yeah.
really cool of you guys.
Yeah.
The Wiltshire Wildlife Trust would be awesome.
Love that.
Thank
Wildlife
you.
Trust.
Yeah.
That's good. We haven't
Brilliant.
had that one yet either.
I'm going to go and watch some David Attenborough now. So that's
Yes.
He's 99.
I know.
Now.
What a legend.
There's
Yeah.
there's a documentary on, I think, Netflix because of it. So I'm going to have a look at that.
Yeah.
Because he's 99 and everyone thinks she's going to peg it soon.
This
so.
podcast has gone, he's 99. This podcast has gone on so long that you're so tired. Your
I am.
eyes are like burning.
I'm
aren't
puffy.
That's the effect I have on people.
We're supposed to-
You're welcome.
they? I'm buzzing.
I think it's more the fact I know I have to go home after this. Actually, we're going to have a beer. Stan, want to go beer?
Yeah, we'll go for a bit.
We'll go for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a late night tonight. So I'm not tired now. I'm tired at the thought of the fact I'm probably not gonna be in bed before about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Which is a bit sad.
Wait, what?
today.
One drink, you said?
Yeah. No. As in, I wish that was because I was drinking.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some long night.
So I guess the final thing is to have a go at the darts,
Okay.
which will be filmed slightly differently this time because we've run out of cameras. So
do
I'll
it
film it
quick.
on my phone,
Okay.
and we'll do it like that.
This is gonna be
Okay.
the most authentic footage so far.
Yeah,
All right.
But have you told Laura who's winning?
we don't need to.
Okay.
Adam is winning.
And the thing is it'll be
You
really.
guys are brilliant.
It'll be really sad at the end of it if we're giving away a monetary prize to the winner and it's me.
Yeah.
You're not getting the prize. You're giving yourself money.
Yeah. Well, I could do. Okay, right. So now stop now. Oh.
That's better. Not so good.
Oh, triple 14.
28, 42. That's second. 50, hang on, 14, 28, 42. 50, 54.
Quick maths.
Yeah, I'm tired.
54. I don't think it's second.